Here's the deal when it comes to attachments, using jargon, and punctuations. For attachments specifically, basically, you do not want to add any attachments to a cold email. So some examples would be a pitch deck or any type of white papers, any type of additional information you do not want to add. And that's because if you give too much information, you're not inspiring curiosity. So in the email, you just want to keep it short, sweet, and just make it so that the person wants to take a meeting with you to learn more. But if you add a pitch deck or a white paper, it basically gives too much information. And from my experience as a salesperson and entrepreneur, nobody really reads pitch decks or white papers, especially if they have no idea who you are. Now, jargon. Don't use any type of vocabulary that your prospects may not understand. And some example of jargons in the technology world is, using APIs, which is Application Program Interface, or SaaS. And SaaS stands for Software as a Service. If you use like these words that people don't really understand, they're not going to relate to you and they're not going to respond to your email. So what you want to do is just explain things in plain English like you would a friend or your parents, and assume that they don't understand what all these technical terms are and inspire curiosity for them to want to learn what these things are. Now, punctuation. What you want to do is limit the amount of bolding, italics, and all caps that you use in any type of email. And the reason is because you just want to keep the email really casual. Like if you are emailing a friend, it's very unlikely that, you may not use all caps or bold or italics. Just use plain text and plain English and make it as relatable as possible to a human being. And that's going to increase the odds that someone will respond to you. Okay, so we're going to talk about one of the biggest and most common mistakes I see entrepreneurs and salespeople make, and that's putting down a hard time commitment when they are sending their cold emails. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what these time commitments actually mean. So when you're asking for a meeting, you do not want to suggest a specific time. For example, tomorrow at 1 p.m. or Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. The reason is because you have no idea what this person's schedule is like. They might be extremely busy, and if you suggest a time where they have an important meeting, they're definitely going to say no, and they're not going to reschedule their schedule just for you. So that's why you want to avoid those specific time commitments. Now, there's going to be a lot of stuff on the internet that will suggest that you do that. It doesn't work. And I've tried it myself, and basically, if they do want to take a meeting with you and you suggest a specific time they can't actually take the meeting at, then there's going to be a lot of back and forth, and it's really annoying. And to reiterate, you don't know the prospect's schedule, so it's just really unproductive to make any type of assumptions on whether or not somebody can commit to a certain time. And so the solution to this problem is, instead of asking for a specific time on when you guys should have a meeting, what you want to do is just ask the prospect when they are available. And by doing this, you are respecting their time. And of course, this might make it a little bit difficult for you because you have to rearrange your schedule based on, what time they come back with. But as a salesperson or entrepreneur, that's just the game, because you want to respect their time and you want to be there when they're ready, especially when it's going to be an important company or a really big company that can give you a lot of business. You just want to bend a little bit so that you work with their schedule, and the winner goes to the person that can be most flexible in this situation. So overall, don't commit to hard time commitments. Don't ask for them. Ask the prospect when they are available or when they have time for a meeting.